Thousands of years ago, a cosmic catastrophe nearly extinguished life on Planet Falan. A rogue star collided with the planet, plunging it into an ice age and leaving the human survivors as slaves to the dominant spirit monster and demon races. Physical survival under these overlords required a brutal biological sacrifice. 7 human ancestors realized weapons alone couldn't win a war against literal cosmic deities. On this historical timeline, we trace a hidden divergence point during the enslavement era. The ancestors forged their human hearts into the 7 god beads, convincing their captors these glowing artifacts were built for them. These beads operate as biological sleeper cells. They carry the concentrated essence of early humanity, lying dormant for millennia, designed to trigger a species-wide uprising. By the time that uprising is actually possible, the human descendants are geographically and ideologically split, preventing the very unity the ancestors sacrificed their lives to ensure. In the East sits the law domain, a society governed by rigid mathematical codes. Its elite enforcer, Fa Hua, uses the codex of order to manipulate the physical world through cold logic and iron discipline, but he lacks the raw, creative energy to overcome high-tier demons. Out west, the free domain operates on elemental chaos and royal entitlement. Prince Lan Ge manipulates wind, water, and thunder through unfiltered emotion and desire, yet he lacks the structural precision to survive a prolonged military campaign. Because the monster and demon races already possess both ancient wisdom and raw power, humanity's division keeps them at the bottom of the food chain. They cannot marshal a unified front against the 10th stage heaven demons preparing to invade. This ideological stalemate leaves humanity as a collection of scattered city-states rather than a unified species, unable to harness the combined power needed to break their ancestral chains. The solution to that stalemate happens by accident. While exploring a remote island, the rigid lawman and the chaotic prince stumble upon a mysterious artifact, the Peerless Bead. It instantly erupts, binding them in a non-negotiable contract. This contract, the same life soul bond, functions as a systemic hack. As shown here, the rigid node representing Fa Hua and the fluid node representing Lan Ge are instantly tethered by an unbreakable pulsating centerline. The first mechanic is a 50-50 damage split. If a massive strike hits the prince, the impact immediately travels across that tether, forcing the lawman to absorb half the physical trauma. If either dies, both die. The second mechanic strips away their geographic independence. If they separate across the continent, the artifact allows them to instantly summon one another, snapping both nodes to the same location along the tether. Finally, the bead forces them into a localized pocket dimension. Within this structural sphere, time warps. 1 hour in the real world provides 3 hours of internal combat training. The artifact operates as a forced empathy engine. It compels 2 bitter rivals to harmonize their wildly opposing thoughts and elemental powers simply to stay alive. Forcing that harmony requires a massive external threat, which arrives as the Ruby Empress. She is an 11th stage cosmic overlord who relentlessly tracks the duo across the oceans. There is a glaring anomaly in her behavior. The Empress avoids killing them. Because the Peerless Bead absorbed her biocore, effectively her heart, she is using the heroes to temper it. By trapping them in simulated life-or-death combat loops within the pocket dimension, she relentlessly batters them. She forces the 2 heroes past their psychological limits until they reach the 9th stage of power. This overwhelming external pressure acts as the catalyst, making the bead's empathy engine function at maximum capacity to ensure their mutual survival. That capacity is put to the test when 24 heaven demon princes launch a full-scale assault on the human cities, pushing the species to a terminal breaking point. With no other options, Fa Hua and Lan Ge finally utilize the bead to its full extent. They perfectly fuse the rigid law of order with the chaotic law of destruction, creating an energy field that negates the demon's elemental attacks. Seeing their success, the Ruby Empress makes her own sacrifice. On this power-scaling pyramid, monster forms hit a hard ceiling at stage 11. By shedding her monstrous body, she reveals Planet Falan's core secret. Only a true human possesses the cognitive infrastructure to transcend into a 12th stage God King. The combined power of the fused humans and the newly ascended Guardian repels the invasion, securing a decade-long truce. This gives Fa Hua and Lan Ge exactly 10 years to hunt down the remaining god beads. On Planet Falan, the mechanical bridge between these two extremes is the only path to godhood, turning the friction between discipline and desire into the fuel for human liberation.